So today we're going to compare RWJ, VB, and SPMO. These are all US small cap equity ETFs. Now these ETFs are slightly different. RWJ, the Invesco S&P Small Cap 600 Revenue ETF, is a small cap value ETF. VB is the Vanguard Small Cap ETF. This is a small cap blend. And XSMO is the Invesco S&P Small Cap Momentum ETF. This is a small cap growth ETF. Using Portfolio Visualizer, we can backtest asset classes, and if you've ever wondered why people who read financial books preach US small cap value, $100,000 over 60 years grew to $88 million. So if you can stash away $100,000 the day your kid's born and never touch it for 60 years, they'll be set for retirement. Now comparing these ETFs, VB is the oldest ETF made back in 2004. It has the most assets under management at 68 million. It has the highest average volume at over 700,000 shares traded each day. It has the best bid-ask spread at 0.03%, so you can get in and out of this ETF pretty easy, and the lowest expense ratio at 0.05. VB is the most diversified ETF with 1,332 holdings. XSMO is the least volatile with a beta of 1.23. VB is the most passive ETF with a 13% turnover rate. It also has the highest yield at 1.34%, and all these ETFs make distributions quarterly. Looking at sector exposure, XSMO had the highest industrials at 31%, the highest financials at 18%, and the highest technology at 14.51%. RWJ had the highest consumer, it also had the highest energy at 8.74%, and VB had the highest healthcare allocation at 11.28%. So you can also say VB is the most diversified here as well. Looking at the value measures, RWJ, the small cap value ETF, had the best PE ratio at 15.4. It had the best price to book at 1.41. It had the best price to sales at 0.3. And it also had the best price to cash flow at 5.14. Looking at the growth measures, XSMO, the small cap growth ETF, had the best historical earnings growth at 21%, the best sales growth at almost 12%, the best cash flow growth at 8.63%, and the best book value growth at 6.31%. Onto the performance, XSMO had the best one-year return at 12.19%. It also had the best three-year return at 20.44%. RWJ had the best five-year returns at 20.75%. XSMO had the best 10-year returns at just over 13%. And RWJ had the best 15-year returns at 12.79%. Taking a look at the Sharpe ratios, XSMO had the best three-year at 0.75. RWJ had the best 5-year at 0.72, and XSMO had the best 10-year at 0.6. So after going through all these numbers, it's looking like RWJ and XSMO are your best two options. Investing $100,000 10 years ago, RWJ grew to $318,000, VB grew to $273,000, and XSMO grew to $340,000. XSMO had the best returns, VB had the best standard deviation, RWJ had the best year, XSMO had the best worst year, XSMO also had the lowest max drawdown, and the highest Sharpe ratio. Looking back almost 18 years, RWJ had the best returns, XSMO still had the lowest max drawdown, VB had the lowest volatility, and RWJ had the best Sharpe ratio. So when it comes to saving, RWJ seems to be your best bet. Creating a $5,000 a month income stream adjusted for inflation, RWJ was left with almost $1.9 million, VB still had $1.6 million, and XSMO had over $2 million. Looking back almost 18 years with the same withdrawal stream, RWJ was left with over $1.9 million, VB was left with $1.2 million, and XSMO is a little bit underwater with $970,000 left. RWJ had the best returns, XSMO still had the lowest max drawdown, VB is the least volatile portfolio, and RWJ still has the best Sharpe ratio.